Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so honored to have on the show multi-instrumentalist, singer, and songwriter for the legendary Lynyrd Skynyrd band, Rickey Medlocke. Rickey, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you very much for having me today. It's an honor.
You know what? It's easy to brag on you, especially, you know, you guys are playing the Nashville, Big Bash with with 49 of your closest friends, and they keep adding artists. Are you pretty excited about this, Rickey?
I am. I mean, we did it years ago, and it's grown so much anyway. And I'm really looking forward to it because we got quite a few friends,
right?
That is there. We've been associated with Nashville for many, many years.
Oh yeah.
And from what I understand, Lainey Wilson is going to join us, and Elle King is going to join us on Sweet Home Alabama. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my gosh, how amazing is that? You know what? It's like haven't seen you guys in concert so many times, and you and I bump into each other at guitar shows. I'm assuming you're going to have your usual guitar arsenal with your favorite Explorer, made by Gibson, out with you.
I have my old Explorer. It will be there. Yeah. I don't go anywhere. I don't start any show without my old Explorer. That's it.
But, and it's part of the thing, part of, seeing Lynyrd Skynyrd, and once again, all the incredible songs and everything, that you guys, do as a band, and keeping this tradition going. But I got to bring this up too. It's like, Gary Rossington was the one who convinced you to come back, I believe in 1996, and, really be, the instrumental part of Lynyrd Skynyrd that you are, Rickey.
Yes. He, it all started with a great big celebration of Freebird the movie premiere in Atlanta, culminated by him calling me up, leaving me a message that was really interesting. This is back when you had the message machine with the tape in it and stuff. And he left me a message. He goes, "Hey, Brother Rickey, this is Gary. I want you to learn I Ain't the One, Saturday Night Special, That Smell, and Freebird. And I'm going to come down to Florida, and I'm going to get with you. I'm going to audition you. And if you pass the audition, I'll give you $1.50 and a Snickers bar." So
who can pass that up, Rickey?
Or no one. So many years later, and this is true, many years later, we had just finished the show, and we got on the bus, and up on the counter of the galley there, was something laying there, and I looked, and it said Rickey. And I looked, and it was $1.50 and a Snickers bar wrapped together, and the note on it said "paid in full."
Oh my gosh, Rickey! But I mean, seeing you on stage with the entire band, it's like, it's just pure energy, and how much you enjoy the songs and what you bring to them. And I know you, as a songwriter, you've been involved with the new material that Lynyrd Skynyrd has done as well, and that's very important.
Yes, I mean, it was important for us to, when I got in the band, and Huey Thomas was in the band,
right?
And Huey Thomason, I must say, and it was really important to Gary and Johnny and ourselves to reestablish this band, that band at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we went about and we picked Muscle Shoals, Alabama, to cut the first record of that band, which was Lynyrd Skynyrd 20.
Mm-hmm.
And we were off and running.
Yeah.
And we've been, I look at it now, the band just celebrated 50 years since its first release. And you know what? I've been a part of something that I never thought I'd be a part of, It just never really occurred to me that I would be here that long and be, a part of something that great.
Right.
I'm a loyal guy. Lynyrd Skynyrd has been my mainstay for the last going on now. Since '96.
Right.
You know, that's going to be about, 27 going on 28 years ago.
Right.
And then I was with the band before that about over 2.5 years.
Right.
As a drummer in the very beginning.
Well, and I got to bring up your history too, Ricky, to where some of these people may not realize that that your grandpa, Paul Shorty Medlocke, was the one who first started teaching you miniature banjo when you were only 3 years old, and then at 5 you picked up guitar, and then a few years later you picked up drums and piano and everything else to the multi-instrumentalist you are today.
Well, you know what? It's funny because when I tell people that, I started playing banjo at the age of 3, they kind of look at me like, yeah, whatever, But I've actually got pictures of my grandfather and myself on TV on a CBS affiliated station that originated out of Jacksonville on a TV station called WMBR, which is now WJXT. And it was called the Toby Dowdy Show. And I went on there because he told Toby, my grandson and I have worked up a couple of songs. And Toby didn't believe, Toby didn't believe it. He said, sure, bring him on.
Right.
Well, I went on, and lo and behold, there was such a response to the fact there was a grandfather and a grandson. And the next thing you know, I was on there for the next 5 years.
Wow.
So it worked. And within that 5 years, of course, I learned how to play guitar. Even at a young age, guitar fascinated me. And I loved it. My dad, Shorty, had an old J45, that he played.
Right.
And at the time, it seemed so big in my lap. But, now I have it, and it seems so small in my lap,
Right.
But in that midst, I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to play drums. Started fooling around with keyboards a little bit. And I did learn how to play mandolin. And my grandfather, Shorty, was quite an extraordinary musician that worked in and out of Nashville a lot. And he was always a little bit funny because I never really could learn to play the harp. And he was excellent at playing it, because if you listen to one of the old Blackfoot tunes, Train, Train, that's him on the harmonica in the beginning.
Right. And then he helped write that song also, didn't he?
Well, he wrote it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all him.
So he wrote two of the hit songs for Blackfoot, which you also fronted the band, right?
He was on Train, Train.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Fox Chase.
Right.
And the song Fox Chase, and he was on Rattlesnake Rock and Roller. And he was quite a character.
Wow.
And leading to that, when I was in Skynyrd the first time, Ronnie, Gary, and Alan would come over and sit with him. All of us would sit with him on my parents' porch. Wow. And this is where Ronnie got the inspiration, part of the inspiration to write Curtis Lowe.
Oh, one of my favorite songs that Lynyrd Skynyrd does.
And if you look on the back of the Nothing Fancy record, you'll see that the Nothing Fancy album was dedicated to my old man. And plus the song Made in the Shade was dedicated to him, because he kept telling us all, he said, you keep doing what you're doing, and one day you'll have it made in the shade. So
wow,
there you go.
And that's the thing too, Ricky, once again, with your grandfather, being such a huge bluegrass artist and so well known, and now you being so well known for Southern rock, and really carving out this whole niche for yourself, with your early band before Blackfoot, and then Blackfoot, obviously, and now Lynyrd Skynyrd, celebrating 50th anniversary. And then also, I got to bring this up, you guys have a huge tour in 2024 with ZZ Top and with Black Cherry Smoke, and then I think also the Outlaws are coming on later in the year.
Something like that. We last year, well, of course, this year, but last year and the year before, when we had that year and a half off because of COVID.
Right.
was just brutal on us,
Mhm.
and as it was everybody else.
Mhm.
I mean, I really feel for, people, man, having to just kind of like, what are we doing, But when we came back after a year and a half, man, it opened up after everything started opening. We got right back into it.
Right.
Gary, on the other hand, found himself in a situation, bless his heart, man, he found himself in a situation to where he couldn't go out anymore.
Mhm.
And, we just lost him this year.
I know.
And that really broke my heart.
Mhm.
And I don't think that I've quite, still right now, after all this time, I don't think I've quite settled with it,
Mhm.
because we were such really good friends ever since we were teenagers.
Right.
And being on stage with him every night, when we were touring, it just something you'll miss the rest of your life.
Mhm.
So, but you know what? This year we picked our bootstraps up and we, got back into it. Johnny and I decided, hey, the outcry of the fans were such that they said, please don't let this be the end of it, And so we decided, along with the former band members' estates and, relatives, that we were going to go back out
Good.
and take the great music to the fans, because honestly, the songs is what makes it all happen for Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Right.
It's all about the music.
Mhm.
Those are such iconic and great songs.
Right.
And I feel very honored and very proud that I've been able to be there and play those songs all this time.
Mhm.
And God bless Gary for getting me back into this. And I promised him that I would stay in this band till the final note in Freebird was struck. And here I am. I'm still here,
Well, and I know that Gary would want you to continue, to playing with Lynyrd Skynyrd and to keep this going. And as you said too, Ricky, the great songs that we've all grown up with that are part of the fabric, international now, not just of the United States, but
Yeah.
with besides Sweet Home Alabama, you've got so many hit songs. Call Me the Breeze. The list goes on and on. Curtis Lowe, one of my favorites. Also, the
Yeah.
newer songs that Lynyrd Skynyrd does, Red, White, and Blue, which
Right.
off an incredible album and everything for that. But I'll tell you what, congratulations on playing the Nashville Big Bash. I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to pick.
I tell you, it's all the beginning of a great year. We're out ZZ Top, Blackstone Cherry. We're out again starting the very beginning of March, all the way through March and all the way through April. Then we take a break and we go right back out in the middle of summer, all the way into October. So the Sharp Dress Cymbal Man tour will continue.
I think all of us are happy to hear that. And I'll tell you what, Ricky, can't wait to see you in concert again myself. I always enjoy your guitar playing and just how much passion you bring to the stage with these songs. And thank you for joining us. Have a great show on New Year's, and we'll see you on the road this coming year.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.